Alright, back to exit corners. Extras. How's the standings? Well, they are all pretty high on the trust. I have no idea what this paranoia is for, though. Blue ink. Alright, Chapter 10. Blue ink. No, I don't want the recap. What?
My son. He's dead, Ink.
Well, yeah, I got that part. It's just... I mean, if he's dead, then how is it you were talking to him?
I've been wondering that all morning, my dear. At first, I thought Scent was trying to torment me, but when Earl finally replied to my messages, I couldn't believe it. It's nothing short of a miracle.
Let's back up a bit, okay? I hate to be the one to ask you this, but you've only been messaging him using your Gemini, right? How can you be sure that the person on the other end is actually Earl?
I asked him questions that only he could answer, of course. At least keep the garden alive.
Come again?
At least keep the garden alive. It was the last thing he ever said to me. He remembers it all, Ink, from the first thing he said to me to the last.
That doesn't prove anything. Couldn't he have relayed that information to someone else?
A mother knows, Ink. It was Earl that I was talking to.
Okay, so for argument's sake, let's just say it is him you're talking to. So then what? He's back from the dead, I guess?
Please, I'm not so naive that I'd believe that Scent can raise the dead.
Then it isn't him. Simple.
I'm not quite sure what to think, Ink. Until this morning, I really did believe he was dead.
Well, what was his explanation?
He tells me he never died, that I'm imagining things.
Would it be too invasive to ask how he, passed?
He put a gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger.
Christ, that's brutal. I am so sorry, Beth. Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have asked.
It's fine. I can understand why you're curious. It's been 14 long years since then. I try to forget sometimes, to remember his life, not his death. I'm sorry I didn't dig deeper into the issue. I was overjoyed to hear that my son is alive. I didn't care how.
No offense, Beth, but this whole thing is extremely suspicious. I'd be careful before jumping to any conclusions.
It doesn't really matter now, does it? It isn't as if I'll ever be able to talk to him again.
Bits of plastic and glass fell to the floor as Beth tightened her hold on what remained of her Gemini. What about the rest of your family?
My family?
Do you have any other kids? Grandkids?
Why are you so interested?
It's important. Trust me. So, what's your family like?
If you think it's important, then alright. I'll tell you.
I mean, I know for a fact she has grandkids because she had that line about how only her grandkids are allowed to call her grandma.
I didn't want my family to be very large. I myself have 3 brothers and 6 sisters.
Oh, wow. Your nieces and nephews must be beyond counting.
My husband had many siblings as well. The 2 of us decided on having a more manageable number of children. Care to guess how many?
2, maybe?
Very good, Ink. You must be psychic.
There's no such thing. Just a guess is all.
2 years after Earl was born, we blessed him with a baby sister. Her name was Ellen.
Earl and Ellen, huh? I like the alliteration.
Isn't it lovely? The letter E just happens to run in the family.
You mentioned you had grandchildren. I suppose your kids had kids?
Indeed. Earl and his wife shared a daughter, and Ellen and her husband were the proud parents of twin boys.
Twins, huh? They say that giving birth to twins is sometimes a hereditary trait.
Yes, occasionally. I have 2 sets of twin sisters myself. I still remember the day that Ellen's twins were born. That was probably the happiest I've ever been. Little bundles of joy, the both of them. Excuse the cliché.
Ink couldn't help but smile back at Beth as she reminisced. Beth, listen to me. I don't know what happened between you and your son, and I'm sorry that you're no longer able to talk to him. But to me, it seems like you've got plenty of other reasons to keep your chin up. The longer you stand around sulking about your Gemini, the less likely it is you'll see your grandkids again. Not to mention all those nieces and nephews of yours. Or yours. Keep your head in the game, okay?
I suppose I've been acting rather immaturely about this whole thing, haven't I? You're a very sweet young man, Ink. Clever, too. Truth be told, you remind me of a young earl.
That's a good thing, right?
Very much so. Sorry if that struck you as strange. Let's get going, then. I know that whatever time we have left could be put to much better use than hollow flattery or an old woman's stories.
Let's just make sure we get out of here in one piece. There'll be plenty of time for chit-chat later. Ink followed her into the hallway. Strangely, there was no one there to meet them.
Where is everyone?
The monitor in here has a blank screen. Does that mean they've already solved the puzzle? Ink ran over to the end of the room and gingerly tugged at the handle. Looks like this door is still locked. If the others aren't in here, that must mean one of these adjacent rooms is unlocked.
How about this one?
Beth pushed open the door nearest to her, which hadn't been locked.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Nothing. Nothing. There's nobody here, and no doors other than the one we just entered.
I don't suppose there's anything of use in here.
Doesn't look like it. Let's try another room then. Oh, Aether. There you are.
I knew I heard somebody out here. Are you both alright? You were gone for quite a while. We're fine, dear. Where are the others? We're all in this room over there. Furthest on the left. All of the doors here are unlocked, but that's the only one with a puzzle in it.
I see. I assume Ray and Lisa are working on it as we speak?
That's right. They could probably use your help. Our help.
Of course. I'm on it.
Hey, look who decided to show up.
Nice to see you too, Lisa. Ink, see if you can make sense of this. A puzzle? Let me have a look. The puzzle featured a string of letters. JPAR, JPPJ, RUP, PKHR. To the untrained eye, the letters were nonsense, but Ink knew better. You know what ciphers are, right? For the most part. I was about to ask you the same thing.
Cipher? I barely know anything about ciphers.
It's a procedure for encrypting or decrypting data, like a code. In this case, the data is a set of letters. There are a ton of different kinds of ciphers, but based on the ciphertext here, I'd imagine it's either a substitution cipher or something equally easy.
I only understood half of that.
Listen, I don't exactly feel like giving a lecture on encryption right this second. I'm just gonna get to work.
Oh, bummer.
Well, I mean, it's really simple. You take one letter and you substitute it for a different letter, and that's a substitution cipher. I'll show you, Aether.
Would you? I'd really appreciate it.
Hey, Lisa, could you fetch me a pen and paper?
Alright, I can do that.
Lisa fumbled about in her bag, pulling out a few sheets of paper and a blue pen. She held the items out in front of her.
Will this be alright?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Ink snatched the items from Lisa's extended grip. Holding the slip of paper up against the wall, he quickly jotted down the simplest example he could think of. Alright, come have a look. Alright, yeah, that's a simple Shift 3 cipher, whatever. Okay, so when dealing with encryption, you've got the plain text, which is the message you want to encrypt, and the ciphertext, which is the encrypted message. Now, the way you navigate from plain text to ciphertext is the cipher. This cipher is one of the easiest to learn. It's called Caesar cipher, and allegedly dates back to the times of Caesar himself. How Caesar cipher works is that every letter in the plain text is substituted with a letter that is farther along the alphabet, based on the cipher's key. In this example, the key is 3, which can also be represented by a D. So you replace every letter with the letter that comes 3 letters later in the alphabet. A becomes D, N becomes Q, and so on.
Oh, I get it. So if you knew what the key was, you could go back up the alphabet to uncover what the plaintext letter was.
Precisely. If you go beyond the letter Z, you just loop around to the front of the alphabet and keep going. Does everyone understand how ciphers work?
That seems simple enough. So all we need to do is find out which letter is being used as a key?
That won't work.
Huh? Why not?
Because there's no guarantee that this puzzle uses a Caesar cipher. Actually, I'd say that it's almost impossible.
What makes you say that?
The Caesar cipher would make it way too easy to solve, especially a short code like this. I know that. I was just using the Caesar cipher as an example since it's really easy to understand. There are a ton of different kinds of ciphers though. I mean, it might not even be a substitution cipher at all.
So, how should we proceed?
If you'd like, Ray, you could try your hand at a more advanced code breaking while I try and solve it as if it were a substitution cipher. Fine. You'll need to let me write up the substitution cipher chart for you. I think I'll be able to handle it on my own, thanks. Lisa, give me a pen and some paper.
Huh? I thought Ink said he'd be fine on his own.
Ink doesn't know what he's talking about. He's gonna need my help with this.
Are you sure about that? It sounded like he was pretty familiar with ciphers. Besides, Ink seems to be better than you at solving puzzles anyway.
Fuck off. Ink isn't better than me.
Ha! Ink's usually the one to come up with the answer, not you. Don't be so petty, Ray. Honestly, I didn't expect him to die your size to get so butthurt about something like this.
Shut your goddamn mouth. And don't talk about who solved what when you haven't fucking solved anything yourself. That doesn't even seem to want to break them up anymore. I'd say I blame her though. Cut it out, guys. We started this argument over a piece of paper. So am I going to get this piece of paper or what? Here, use mine if it matters that much. Ink tore off the bottom half of his sheet and handed it to Ray. Snatching the pen from Ink's hands, Ray headed to the corner of the room and began scribbling away.
Must you antagonize him so much? He's the one who started it.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, Ink, how is it that the both of you know so much about ciphers? I'm not an expert or anything, but you studied English and Ray studied computer science. They aren't really related, are they?
Well, no, not exactly, but...
Cryptography used to be something that linguists did. It used to be all about turning letters into different letters, often using letters or combinations of letters as keys. So there were a lot of letters involved, you know? As technology advanced, though, ciphers grew increasingly complex, so complex that it fell upon mathematicians, not linguists, to create and solve them. These days, almost all encryption is done on computers, so it makes sense that it's more of a computer science thing. Is that about right?
Yeah, actually. I was just about to say that.
I see.
It's a really cool field, Lisa. You should read up on it if you're interested.
Aether, didn't you just say that you weren't especially familiar with ciphers? Oh, well, I'm not. Not really. I knew that one little thing, that's all. I see. Maybe we ought to get started?
Yeah, let's solve this thing. Alright, so... J is probably a consonant. That might be an O or an E, so... D, E... I don't know. How's the encryption coming along? Let's see. I'm starting off with a Vignier cipher. I feel like that might be it. A Vignier cipher, huh? That's the one where you use an entire word as a key? Right. An entire word or a significant sequence of numbers. No idea what it would be, though. And who knows? It might be in one of the books that was in the library in the last room. Knowing Sen, the key would probably be something either really obscure or something painfully obvious. There's no middle ground with that guy. Yeah, I was wondering if it was Wait, why am I even telling you this? You're supposed to try and figure it out if it were a simple substitution cipher. Leave the other ciphers to me. Right. Ah, dang it. Guess I'm gonna have to make my own ciphers. Or... lists, I guess.
every letter is simply substituting for another. Is that it?
Yep. All we need to do is figure out which of these letters is which. Do you suppose the answer is
related to our situation somehow?
That's a good question. It would certainly make it easier for us.
It all comes down to scent. Do you think he would make it easier for us or not?
I don't know much about scent, so for now let's just leave all our options open.
At the very least, I'm going to assume the answer is in English.
Alright, so... vowels surrounded by consonants, 2 letters on each side. Bad, bead, C, so I, do, nope, foo, nope, goog, nope, hef, nope, jedge, nope. It's a J anyway. H-I-J-K, keek, nope. Kook, kick. Peep, maybe? So, alright, so P could be E, J could be P. I have no idea. Whatever. More hints.
So, how does one solve a cipher?
It takes a good eye and some trial and error.
And every letter is actually some other letter, right?
Yeah, that's the idea. See if you can find any patterns.
Okay, I'll let you know if I come across anything.
Like, I mean, you could make a spreadsheet of what each letter could possibly be, and then cross-reference. Yeah, P can't be P because it's obviously something else because it's a substitution cipher, and then just work your way down all 26 letters using logic to, okay, that's gotta be a consonant because it's blah, so X out all the non-consonant vowels. And you do that for every single letter. Harder for a short thing, though, somehow. I mean, with a long one, you have more to work with, even if it will take longer to actually do once you've got the cipher.
Is letter frequency relevant to code breaking?
Of course it is. Some letters simply come up more times than others.
The most common letter in the ciphertext appears to be the letter P, which occurs 5 times. Following that is J and R, which both occur 3 times. Lastly, there's A, U, K, and H, which all occur only 1 time. Given how often each letter comes up, do you think we can make some educated guesses as to what they could be?
Well, there's so few letters here that it might not be as easy as you'd think. I guess it's worth a shot, though. I remember that the most common letter in the English language is E. Over 1 in every 10 letters used is the letter E.
Perhaps P is E then.
Maybe. Seems a bit early to jump to conclusions, but it's possible.
After E, what letter is most common?
After E, I think the most common letter is T. I forgot what comes after T exactly, but A, N, and S I think are very common as well.
That would probably be very useful to keep in mind.
Alright, I should probably just type some stuff in. T, E, O, O, T, E, E, T, S, I, E, E, N, not H, X, and then S.
Ink, can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You see that second word? JPPJ.
What about it?
It's odd, don't you think? Whatever those letters are, either J or P must be a vowel.
I'd think that P would be the vowel since it turns out more than J in other words.
Right, that makes sense.
L, M, N, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, nope. Probably P. Or deed. That could be a word.
So the most common letters are E, followed by T, A, N, S, and I. We should keep that in mind.
Something bothering you? I could really use a cig right now. Oh, I didn't know you smoked. All my shit was gone when I woke up this morning. That includes my cigs and my lucky lighter. I've been trying not to think about it. Maybe this is a sign that you should quit. Screw you. I can smoke if I want. I was just kind of thinking out loud. I don't care whether you smoke or not. You don't seem like an easily swayed person anyhow. Would you believe my ex-girlfriend got me to quit for a little while? Whoa, she must have been pretty persistent. Yeah, she hated it. I gave in eventually. Convinced myself they were bad for me. Things you tell yourself when you're in a relationship. Ugh. Bah, stop distracting me and get back to work. So, Ray.
Yeah?
Never mind. We should probably just keep to our own tasks. Okay, H, I. So you can't be that. Deed exit. H. C, E, F, Ef, Gage. Dent deed the exit? I don't know. Went view. Sent sees the exit. That's what Aether said. Alright, there's some sort of freaky mind control going on in the background here.
Hey, I know what you're about to ask me, and the answer is no. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
You're coming to ask me if I had any ideas on how to solve this thing. As it turns out, I don't.
Is this because you don't want to be wrong?
No, don't just assume that.
Okay, sorry. I'll just go ask one of the others for help then.
It's not that I don't want to help you. I'm just not very good at letter-based puzzles.
Fine, have it your way. I'm still gonna ask you stuff. For someone who said they weren't going to help, she sure seems invested in the puzzle. She won't look away from it. she's mouthing something. Her hand is moving a little too. I wonder, is she dyslexic? It'd explain the slow typing speed.
So if P is a vowel, that would mean that J is a consonant, right?
Most likely. I can't think of any 4-letter words that contain only vowels.
Me neither. That narrows it down a bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. We've got consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant. And if the vowels and consonants are the same, then it should be pretty easy to guess.
Oh, I know. What about noon? N-O-O-N. That must be it.
I'm not so sure about that. It's a possibility, I suppose.
Well, what else could it be?
Well, for starters, it could be boob. Not to mention poop and toot. Fuck, how old am I? 5? It's gotta be something else. Well, the vowel isn't necessarily an O. It could just as easily be an E.
Oh, I suppose you're right. What words can you make with that?
Off the top of my head, either C's or deed would fit the bill.
Right. So the second word is either C's, deed, or noon. So the second word...
Now that I think of it, it's most likely C's.
Why do you say that?
I'm basing this off of letter frequency. J and P both come up pretty often. If that's the case, then J is S and P is E.
What about R? That one seems to come up pretty often too.
I wonder.
I bet if we figured out what the letter R is, we'd be able to solve this easily.
Yep, done.
The letter R...
Okay. Done.
Scent sees the exit. Nice one, Ink.
So it's a substitution cipher after all.
Now that I think about, Scent is a pretty weird name. I mean, it's obviously not his real name, but why would you call yourself Scent of all things? Do you think it could be an acronym? Maybe it stands for, super evil something something? Oh, I've got nothing. It's just a stupid name. I shouldn't have even asked about it.
Oh, shit. Huh? What is it, Ray? I forgot to give you my cipher substitution chart. My bad, guys. Don't worry about it. I managed to figure it out anyway. Yeah, I guess.
Could I see it?
Yeah? Why?
I'd like to understand ciphers a little better, in case we run into a similar puzzle in the future.
Oh, well, here it is. Knock yourself out. Ray passed the half-torn sheet to Aether. She inspected it closely. Something the matter?
Could you quickly help me understand how this works, Ink?
Sure thing. Just show it to me. So, here you've got the, something's wrong.
Go on.
What's wrong with me? Why am I so weirded out by this?
Ink?
Yo, Ink, the girl asked you a question. Or should I explain it instead? Okay, so, shut up!
Ink, what's going on with you?
Just be quiet. Everyone be quiet. It doesn't make any sense. We use the same one. Ray. What? Look at your chart. What about it? I don't get it. What are you talking about? It isn't even filled in. Oh, speaking of which, I guess you want your pen back, huh? Ray held the pen out in front of him. Rather than take it, Ink bent down on one knee and examined it. What the hell are you doing? Ink lifted himself back onto his feet, nabbing the pen on his way up. Your chart is blue. Duh, it's a blue pen, and it's filled with blue ink. You're wrong. Here, look at this. We used the same pen, but our ink was a different color. See? The other contestants said nothing. I have a pen just like this one at home, and the ink is black. Okay, how about we try writing a bit more? Ink flipped his diagram over. Slowly, he dragged the pen across the top of the page. See? It's black. Ray, I want you to write something down again. Fine. Ink handed Ray the pen, which he then used to trace a line right next to Ink's. Blue. Oh. Huh. Neat. I guess there's a bit of blue ink in there. That's how you explain it? Really? Yep. Because this is the only possible way you could explain it. It's just a manufacturing screw-up. Nothing to get excited about. No, there's more to it than that. Like what? Is it a magic pen or something? I don't know. I'm not sure what happened exactly, but...
Ink, don't you think you're taking this a bit too far? It's strange, I'll admit, but...
You think this is funny, don't you?
I never said that. Well, stranger things have happened to us today. Ink could be onto something. You know, possibly.
I'm not crazy.
We never said you were crazy. Just calm down. There are more important things to worry about right now. Aether is right. It might be a bit strange, but it's just ink.
Just ink, huh? Great. Good to have everyone on board. Are you done yet? I'd recommend giving a move on. Pronto.
I'm with Ray. The door in the hallway ought to be unlocked now.
The other contestants nodded and followed Ray's lead. Ink, strangely out of breath, brought up the rear. Ink felt even worse as he crossed into the hallway. He was drooling almost, his saliva turning salty sweet. As expected, the door at the end of the hallway had been unlocked. One by one, the other contestants filed through the door. Ink began to follow the other contestants, but at the last second, he slipped into an adjacent room instead. I don't understand. He let himself fall onto the bed. Why am I the only person worried about the ink? The ink. Everyone had seen it. The ink was black when Ink used the pen, but blue when Ray used it. Ink was convinced that it simply wasn't possible. I don't fucking get it. It was all wrong. The ink was wrong. The pen was wrong. The hotel was wrong. Something always wrong. Ink nearly fell backwards. The room was suddenly alive, churning like a river of paint. A wave of nausea overcame him as he sank to his knees. Ink tried to fight it, to stand up straight, but the room just wouldn't hold still. What? Something began to claw at the inside of his stomach. The pain consumed him. He couldn't stand. He couldn't even scream. The room continued to twist and bend as he gasped for air. Surely, he thought, his stomach was going to explode. Finally, he coughed, heaving a fist-sized clump of bloody mucus onto the floor. Stop. Please, make it stop. The pain was relentless. Ink searched for something, anything that might help him. It was at that moment that it appeared. Ink saw a thread. It was a tiny little thing. The thread was the only thing that wasn't moving. Ink reached for it. The thread opened wide. Reaching for it had been a mistake. Ink knew what had happened once when one pulled a loose thread too far. The world, seam undone, was torn. Behind it lay nothing. The hole in the world had trapped him. It threatened to swallow him whole. No, please. He would never make it to the door with that tear in the way. Panicked, Ink reached for his final recourse, the device in his pocket. Sean? Yeah, what is it? Please help me. Now. Is it happening again? Worse. I can't. Please. Help me. Hard to type. Please. Sean, where are you? Sean? I'm here, buddy. Calm down. You're just a bit scared. We all get scared sometimes. You need to breathe deep, buddy. In, 2, 3, out. Just like we practiced. Arms up, chin up. I'm not going anywhere. Ink looked down from his Gemini to find that the hole had only grown wider. He lifted his trembling arms into the air, fighting to keep them upright. One breath, then another. One, then another. It's useless. Sean can't help me now. It's over.
You need to raise your chin.
Aether was there. She didn't notice the tear behind her. In fact, she seemed to walk right through it. Slowly, it closed. Ink wondered if it was even there at all.
There's a breathing exercise, right? You need to raise your chin, too. If you keep it tucked into your chest like that, you won't get enough air.
Ink stared at the girl, stupefied. What had just happened? Had Aether been the one to stop it? How long have you been there?
I came in just a moment ago. I heard you yell, and I'm sorry. Should I leave?
No. No, it's okay. Please stay.
What's going on, Ink? There's blood all over the floor. And your clothes, too.
I don't... It's...
Please, just tell me you're okay.
I am okay. Ink was far from okay. Anxiety attacks. But, strangely, the worst of it appeared to be over. His breathing was normal, and even though he was still a little lightheaded, he wasn't at the mercy of the feeling in his gut.
What happened here?
I think I'm going crazy, Aether. Well, that was a chapter. Only one left to go until I have to wait until the 13th.